Hello, everybody. It's Teddy Atlas with the fight, and we promised you we live stream the Benavidez Morrell fight. Right now, we're in the third round of the Brandon Figueroa Stephen Fulton fight. We had a little technical difficulties. Can you believe that? Can you believe that this caveman had a little bit of technical difficulties getting on the air? Well, I know it's hard to believe that. I'm a master at the fax machine, a master at smoke signals, but not a master with the internet and technology. But we're here. We promised we would be here. We will be here for the full Morel and Benavidez fight. But right now, we're in the third round of what's looking like it's going to be a heck of a fight between Figueroa and Fulton. Let me bring you up to speed what I'm watching. You're watching it. I'm watching it with you now. Figueroa is doing what he always does. He's doing his thing. He's trying to bring pressure and amounts of punches. And he's switching back and forth. He's trying to be more than a bull in a china shop. You know, he lost the first fight being counter punched by the counter puncher. So this fight, he's trying to mix it up, pick his spots, not come straight in, not be as predictable, use his legs, change distance a little bit, feint a little bit before he comes in. And you can see it, and I give him credit for that. You know, he knew he had to change something. He couldn't just, again, walk in. But he's still having trouble with the counterpuncher. Fulton's doing his thing. Fulton is an orthodox fighter. He can switch too. But he's controlling range, his feet are set, and he's looking to pot shot. He's looking to catch the predictable Figueroa who likes to come in the front door. He just rushed in right there. He's looking to make him pay a price to get in. He's looking to make it difficult for him to go through the neighborhood he has to go through to get to Fulton. The pressure is on Figueroa. He's got to be aggressive to win. How's he going to do that without being counted? Same problem he had the first time. And again, he tried to be better this time. He's trying to be a little more thoughtful, not rush in, you know. But now he's getting caught waiting, being thoughtful, being beat to the punch a little bit while he's waiting on the outside. And then when he does rush in, well, Fulton is still that consummate counterpuncher. We're getting close to the end of the third round here. I hope you guys are with us. Call your friends, let your friends know. Send out, you know, you guys are not cavemen on the internet. You guys are much better than me. So send out those, whatever they are, those smoke signals to everybody, letting them know that we are live, we are streaming. And right now we're watching Benavidez get his hands wrapped by his father. And we'll be getting back in a minute to the fourth round for the Figueroa-Fulton fight. I'm not keeping the score, but I have Fulton winning the fight. Just being more effective. You know, it's one thing to be aggressive. It's another thing to be effective while you're aggressive. That's where the problem is for Figueroa. He's trying to figure out, how can I be aggressive? How can I be me without getting counted? And do it efficiently, do it effectively. Here we are in the fourth round. We're at the 2:45 mark. I just let you guys know because I don't know where the synchronization is as far as the timing on your feed and the timing on mine, because that can be different. So I'm just letting you know we're at 2:24 now of the fourth round. And again, Figueroa, he's reaching in, he's falling in a little bit. And to the credit of Fulton, he's tying him up when he gets in. Why? Because that ain't his game. That ain't his bag, as they say. You know, Fulton's bag is to counter you on the way in. And then when you get in, in this case, you being Figueroa, tie up. Because Figueroa's thing is to work inside, go to the body, move your hands. And he's not being allowed to do that. He's being tied up. And part of the problem he's creating for himself, he's putting his hands behind Fulton. And when he puts his hands behind Fulton, it's easier to tie him up. Here goes Figueroa again, jabbing out, jabbing his way in, doing a little better. But again, he puts his hand behind Fulton, and Fulton immediately was able to clamp down. If you want to work on the inside, I'll tell you a little secret. You do not put your hands behind the guy. You keep your hands free in front. You rotate your shoulders. You take a half step back. You create room. Here comes Fulton again. He's inside. He's working freer. He's working a little more, but he's, again, put his left hand behind Fulton, and Figueroa gets tied up. And Fulton's, again, doing his thing, keeping a little range, enough range, using his legs to keep separation. He's switching southpaw now. Fulton, both these guys switch well. And Figueroa having a better round, able to be a little more effective this round. When he gets in, able to work a little bit. But again, there's Fulton again. A nice 3-punch combination on the outside. And Fulton's going to win this. It's not a complicated formula. There goes Figueroa working well on the inside again, keeping his hands free now. That's why he's working well. Good uppercut. Good right hand by Fulton. But Figueroa always coming forward, relentless. I mean, the guy is like a bad nightmare. He don't go away. He just keeps coming, and coming. Close round. Figueroa had a better round there. Because when he got inside, he was able to work a little bit more. But he got caught some clean shots, some effective punches on the outside. He got pot shotted, sniping a little bit on the outside. Two ways that Figueroa is getting caught. One is if he waits in front, he gets beat to the punch. And two, if he comes in reckless, he gets counted on the way in. And where is he effective? Again, he's effective when he doesn't get inside and keeps his hands free and is able to work a little bit. Although Fulton is not chopped liver on the inside either. Even though he knows, he's smart. He knows that, hey, if I beat him on the inside and don't give him any, if I beat him on the outside and I give him no inside game, I can't lose. But if I beat him on the outside and I give him a little inside game, it's a close fight. So what he's trying to do is take the inside game away, Fulton is, and just dominate the outside game. But Fulton is capable of counterpunching on the inside. He's doing a little bit of that now. He's looking to catch Figueroa that last half a foot as he comes in with a counter shot. Well, here it is again. Nothing fancy, ladies and gentlemen. Not when you're watching Figueroa. You know, he's coming across that ring. He's getting in your face. You know, he's trying to be that old throwback to Henry Armstrong. Get in your chest, push you back, and just keep punching and punching and punching. And again, he's cutting the ring down. He's pursuing. He's staying with Fulton. He's moving parallel with him when Fulton uses the ring a little bit parallel. But he's getting tied up on the inside again. He has to stay free on the inside. And he's doing that now. Staying free a little bit now. Staying free a little bit now. But he got caught that uppercut there. Again, Fulton will not be as busy on the inside as Figueroa, who just keeps throwing and throws punches and bunches, but he'll be selective and he'll pick spots. And those spots can be cleaner than sometimes the bunch of punches thrown by Figueroa. Fulton wants space. Every time he gets space, he's pot shot. Every time that Fulton has space, that's what he does. He uses the jab. He knows he's got to punch at that space before Figueroa closes the gap.
Never seen a fighter fight in Timberlands before. Interesting choice by Fulton there.
By the way, that's my better half. That's my buddy. That's my man, Teddy the Third. He's in Las Vegas. He had no problems. He was ready to go on time. Me, the caveman, had problems in New York. But here we are, we're together, and they're together on the inside right now. Go ahead, bud.
Yeah, Fulton started this fight a 2-1 underdog. They got him live right now at -400 favorite. So definitely Vegas has seen it the way of Fulton through the first 5 rounds so far.
Don't give up on Figueroa because that's his game. His game takes time. His game takes time. If he's going to be successful, he is that proverbial pot of boiling water. It takes time to boil water. When you boil water, eventually it will disappear. Eventually it will evaporate. But it takes time. That is Figueroa. He needs time to get to you, time to weigh you down, time to instill his will on you, time to instill his physicality on you, time to break you down. And that's what he's trying to do. A little bit of heavy breathing there by Fulton in the corner, but he's standing. He's doing the George Foreman thing. He's sending a psychological message across the ring. I'm standing. I can handle your pressure. I ain't tired. I ain't going nowhere. 75% of this game is mental. There's some replays there. See, there's the clean shots, bud. You see what I'm talking about on the inside? Look at that. Beautiful right uppercut, short left hook by Fulton on the inside. And yeah, Figueroa outthrew him on the inside, but that doesn't mean he outlanded him because Fulton is the scientist. You know, he's the surgeon. There's a nice uppercut by Figueroa. Fulton's the surgeon. You know, he's the guy, he's not using a hatchet. He's using a scalpel. You know, he's going to cut just where he's supposed to cut. You know, he's not just swinging a machete. And he's picking the spots pretty good on the inside, even though that's Figueroa's territory, or it needs to be his territory, put it that way. But Fulton is finding on the inside, throwing short little shots, uppercuts, little body shots. And of course, when there's a little space, that's icing on the cake for Fulton. Because then he's got room to get off those quick counter shots. Figueroa, again, nothing, I guess you could just say nothing pretty about it. He's in there, he's throwing. You hit him, for him, hey, that's par for the course. He just keeps coming and coming and coming. He's not a big puncher. Unfortunately, a lot of his punches are punches, his most effective punches to the body. Referee is separating them there. Give a little talk to them, keep the punches up. I guess that's what he was telling them.
Yeah, I'm at 1:25. It's hard enough to commentate or watch a fight with you on time, let alone being from behind. But I'm assuming you're at about the 10-minute mark.
Yeah, I'm at 1:05 now for all the people out there. My son, which is only right. He's a little behind me. I'm older.
8 seconds behind.
He's a little behind me, but he'll catch up. Again, Figueroa, but inside, but getting caught with those uppercuts. That's the right punch. To give credit to the corner of Fulton and his people. They're telling him probably go to the body on the inside, those short little shots, take a little air, take a little wind out of the sails of this aggressive son of a gun, and throw the uppercut because he's leaning. And there it is again, the uppercut, because Figueroa's starting to lean a lot now. Fulton's leaning forward a little bit too. So the uppercut is there for both guys. Right now on the inside, if you were buying, if punches were stocks, you would be buying body shots and uppercuts. And that's all you'd be buying. reaching in there by Figueroa a little bit, falls in, ends the round. You probably got a couple of seconds left, but the round just ended.
Final few seconds just ended for me as well. Yeah, that was some really good action that round there. This fight halfway through now, really heating up.
How can a fight not heat up when Figueroa is part of it? I mean, for God's sakes, he's the sun. I mean, the sun only does one thing. It heats things up. You know, you might be able to jump in the shade for a little while. You might be able to, get under a tree for a while. But sooner or later, the sun will shine through and it will heat things up. Figueroa is sunny. The only problem is Fulton's bringing a few clouds to that sun with that. Again, nice counter punch there at distance. You see distance, you see range, you see opportunities for Fulton to get off. You know what I just saw? I didn't notice it until now. He doesn't have fight shoes on. Fulton's not.
That's what I said earlier. He's wearing Timberlands.
I didn't realize that, bud. He's good eye. He's wearing Timberlands. When the camera showed it earlier, I thought they were showing the corner man. I didn't realize that Fulton is wearing Timberlands. That's a first. I don't know if there's ever been a fighter wore Timberland boots.
I don't think he's actually wearing Timberland boots. I think they're designed boxing shoes to look like Timberlands. But when you first see them, they look like real Timberland boots.
I tell you, they still look like Timberland boots to me. But
yeah, maybe they are.
I would assume that they would be boxing shoes looking like Timberland boots, but they look awful lot like damn Timberland boots to me. And if he was wearing them, and somebody said, Teddy, what would the reason be? He wants to sit down, baby, and most of his defense is moving his head, controlling range. He's not running around the ring, He's not putting a track meet on. He wants to be set to punch. And I'll tell you right now, he's been set to punch at the right distance. If it's the shoes, the feet, whatever it is, it's working. And I could understand. If you move too much with a guy like Figueroa, he's going to weigh you down. He's going to keep coming. He's going to hit you while you're moving. He's going to negate your offense because while you're moving, he's coming forward and keeping you defensive. But if you're set to punch like that right there with the southpaw jab, you can catch him before he can get in. Your offense can be part of your defense. You got to be able to mix it up. You got to be able to have the best of both worlds. Be smart, control range, be on the outside, but be set to punch too. Be defensively responsible, but be set to punch. Fulton has done all of that so far tonight. Look at him. He's in the southpaw position. He threw a nice body shot there, trying to take again some of the steam out of this aggressive son of a gun who never stops, never gets discouraged. Boy, a lot of nice, clean counter punching and well-placed punches. Figueroa's throwing, but the other guy is placing shots. Big difference from throwing shots and placing shots. And Fulton's placing them. Right now, you see the locker room of Benavidez. So that was a moment ago. Now you're in Morrell. Morrell's doing a little salsa, little dance.
He's got Andy Cruz with him.
He's got
fellow Cuban.
Yep. Who was a gold medalist in the Olympics. Who is, I believe he's only got a few fights, like 5-0. Morrell is
Yeah, Morrell's 11-0. Andy Cruz, we got to see fight last week. Impressive performance.
Yeah, all that amateur pedigree. gold medalist in the Olympics, confidence, everything else. Maturity, he's 29. You would think he's younger because he's only got 5 fights, but he's 29. And just like his fellow compatriot, Morrell, he is experienced beyond his pro experience because of the amateur background. Do not get fooled by the amount of pro fights Morrell has or Cruz has. And here we are back. And we're back to the same old stuff.
Yeah, it's good work by Fulton. Fulton's a 12-1 favorite right now, according to the live odds. So he's more than pulling away, according to Vegas.
And that doesn't make the Vegas guys, you talk about being Captain Obvious. I mean, even I can figure that one out. You don't have to be the Mason Kreskin to figure out who should be the favorite here in live betting. And again, getting a little space. As soon as he gets space, he knows what to do with it, Mr. Fulton. He does that. He pot shots. He gets his punches off. On the inside, he either throws little short shots. Right now, he's looking to turn them, but he's throwing those little uppercuts. He's being real cute on the inside. Okay, what makes Fulton better? And there's Figueroa. He never stops. But what makes Fulton better? I can name a bunch of things. His punches are shorter, right? His hands a little faster. I could name a whole bunch of things. But the main thing is his defense is better. Start and stop with that. And this is a business where when one man's defense is better, it gives him usually a big edge. And yeah, I know you're looking at the counterpunching. I see it. But the defense is setting up that counterpunching. He's not getting hit as a beautiful little short hook there. He's not getting hit as easily as Figueroa. And when you're not hit as easily as the other guy, you have an edge. You see what I'm saying, bud?
Yeah, no question. I mean, the more effective, the bigger, the cleaner shots, the better work has been Fulton.
And a lot of it is set up because of his defense. He'll make him miss, he'll make him pay.
Sorry.
And when he's not getting hit, you're just in a better mentality, a better physical place to land the better shots when you're not taking on as many shots. Yeah, he gets hit every once in a while, Fulton, but he's blocking a lot, he's slipping a lot. He's in command. He's in control. He's got a bloody nose there. That's probably from one of those uppercuts that Figueroa got through. See, here's the thing. If you're going to stand, you got to stand the whole fight. And he is. But you can't suddenly sit because then the psychological edge goes back to the other guy. Because then they look across the corner and they say, oh, look, he's getting tired. He's sitting down now. So you stand, you got to stay standing. Looking up at the clock, he's human. He's looking at the clock. I guess he wanted to show you what was on that mouthpiece. That's not real nice. But you saw that mouthpiece there, bud?
I didn't see it, no.
Yeah, well, just as well. Not the nicest thing to say to somebody. It's kind of like what you would say if you didn't like somebody or you were trying to prove a point and say, hey, freak you. But there's another word in place of freak. There goes Figueroa trying to get in, paying a price to get in. Again, you heard me say it a million times. The burden is on Figueroa to be aggressive. He's not aggressive. He ain't doing what Figueroa does. And if he's not effective with his aggression, he ain't going to win. And he's getting counterpunched on the inside and the outside. But what I've said a million times is, you try to get in. When you're the guy who the burden is to get in, you want to get through a neighborhood without getting mugged. Through a bad neighborhood without getting mugged. He's had trouble getting through that neighborhood. Figueroa. Both guys leading a little bit, but the guy who's in better position defensively is Fulton. And you see that uppercut can't miss right now by Fulton. The uppercut to the body and to the head. Because he's got his opponent right in front of him leading.
What adjustments do you make if you're Figueroa right now? I mean, I know his game is to be inside.
Too late. Listen, I never usually say this, but you're in. You're in, baby. Sink or swim. I mean, at this point, obviously on the inside, keep your punches as short as possible. This guy's going to punch in between your shot. He's a master counter puncher. He's got any room. You leave any space, he's going to punch in between. But you're in. You're in it. You're in what you do. This is what you do. You put yourself here. You know what? Then do it to the utmost. Get inside behind your jab as cleanly as you can and go to work. You're behind in a fight and concentrate on the body. Hope that you can hurt him and catch him to the liver. Matter of fact, concentrate on that left hook to the liver. See if you can set, because you are behind here. You're not a big knockout puncher. Chances are you're probably not going to hit him on the chin and knock him out unless you put two perfectly timed and three together. So try to move that right elbow of Fulton out of the way. Try to see if maybe you could do a Mickey Ward on him. Throw a little short left hook up top and then sneak down a left hook to the body, where maybe you get the elbow to move out of the way just enough where you can land a clean left hook to the liver. Better round for Figueroa. A little bit better, very busy like he always is, able to keep his hands free on the inside. But again, the defense of Fulton is the difference. It's harder to hit him clean than it is to hit Figueroa. And where Figueroa depends on his offense for offense, and that's it. Fulton depends on his defense and offense. He can get off. He can do it the conventional way, the traditional way. He can beat you to the punch. He can use his jab to set shots up. Or he can do it off the defense, make you miss, and create openings that way. He's got two ways to get to you. Figueroa's got one way to get to you. And it can be a painful way to come in that front door, knock the door down, and just start banging. And that's what he's trying to do right now. But then again, he tries to do that every round. Little space, you know that Fulton's going to take advantage. There it is, the right hand. Just a little space. And you know what he did? Give him credit. He realizes that Figueroa's in the southpaw stance. Now he turns. He convinced Figueroa to get out of that southpaw stance. You just caught it, bud. I know. I heard the That's because you saw that right hand. But he scored the right hand. Really brilliant stuff and good eyes and being calm in an uncommon environment. Where Fulton, again, he sees the guy southpaw, he's shooting the right hand because that's the southpaw killer, the right hand. Right hands land with lefties. So every time he's lefty, he being Figueroa, expect that right hand to be shot out by Fulton. Fulton's legs are getting a little wide now. Little wide. What does that mean, Ted? That means it's going to be harder to move off those ropes if his legs are real wide. And maybe he's getting a little tired. His legs are a little wider now. They're beyond the shoulder length. Look how wide those legs are getting, folks. That means something, a little something. But right there, you wouldn't know it because he got a little space and he went to work. Boy, oh boy, this.
Wow. He does not stop Figueroa. I mean, all day long, he's coming.
Wow. He just keeps coming. And look, Fulton will catch you clean, but he's not a puncher. Obviously he's not a big banger. He's 22-1 with 8 knockouts. And Brandon Figueroa, 25-1 with 19 knockouts, but he's not a big puncher. His punches come from wearing you down, from accumulation. That's what they come from. For the most part, his knockouts, they come just from attrition. These guys Fulton just wants to.
I think Fulton just wants to hear the bell ring and get out of this round.
Yeah, 100%, but 100%. He's starting to get. He's starting to get a little bit the way that pot of water starts to get when it's been on the stove for a long time. It's starting to have less water in the pot. A little bit, just a little bit. But if you're Fulton at this stage, that's all you're looking and hoping for, a little bit. Talk about guys that throw a lot of punches. That man right there, the former world champion, Santa Cruz, that man threw a lot of punches.
Yeah, he was fun to watch. Felt like Figueroa came on those last 2 rounds, but still a wide underdog going into the championship rounds. 16-1 right now.
Drop down a little bit. You're telling me we got a chance.
You're telling me there's a chance.
You're telling me from Dumb and Dumber. You're telling me there's a chance. Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah, I am. I'm telling you there's a chance because, again, not a big chance. It ain't going to be a one-punch thing, which is what you would wish that you have a chance for. But with this pressure, with this relentless man, if he can just get in the right body, I think it's got to be to the body. That's my personal feeling.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
But the water is evaporating a little bit. Now, if this was a 15-round fight and we talked about it, Teofimo Lopez talked about it. We talked about it on our podcast, Bud, a couple days last week. If it was a 15-round fight, you'd feel a lot better about Figueroa right now and his chances, but it ain't 15 rounds.
No question. Figueroa looks like he'd be able to go 25 rounds.
There was a day back in the 20s, 30s, early 1900s, where that was the route you had to go to get to greatness sometimes.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Phone booth fight right now, which is what Figueroa always wants. He always wants a phone booth fight, always. The only problem here is he's been getting operated a little bit too much.
Are you surprised how much Fulton success he's had without having to use his legs more and pick his spots, at least in the earlier part of this fight?
I think he planned that. I think that's why he wore the boots, if those are boots. That he knew that he was going to stand his ground.
Sit down on it.
Yeah, sit down, deliver punches, not let this guy, walk him down, not let this guy, take air out of him by just pursuing him while he's moving. And while you're moving sometimes and the other guy's coming forward, that wears you out because the other guy's doing what he wants to do. He's in a pursuit. He's after the prey. He's the hunter. And I think Fulton did not feel like being the hunted. He felt like he was not the prey. He felt like he was going to do a little hunt. And what do you do when you hunt? You wear Timberland boots. You set yourself to do what he's doing, to punch him between the D. D&O, defense, offense. And he's doing that. He's doing just a little bit of head movement, a little bit of punch back. Hands up all the time, tight.
Wow, great action here this round.
Yeah, beautiful inside fight. Again, both guys throwing. Both guys a lot of heart. Both guys
And
in the
neither
forward.
guy clinching. For all
No,
this action, there's no clinches.
but who's landing cleaner? You probably might have to still go, even though the last few rounds have been much, much more effective for Figueroa, but you still gotta look at the way Fulton is placing those shots a little better, a little cleaner, a little more specific, a little bit more accurate. Again,
Yeah.
one guy is throwing punches, one guy is placing punches.
Well, he's running out of time here. I would assume he needs something dramatic, if not a knockout, at least a knockdown.
You know what? I agree. Maybe more than one.
Yeah. Yeah.
He might need the knockout, to be quite frank. But you know what? Another thing Fulton does, and kind of said it already in different parlance, different words. He throws educated punches, and the other guy is, Figueroa, and I love him. You got to love his heart. You got to love his constitution, his desire, his commitment to what it is to get to you, no matter what. You have to love that. But his punches are not as technical. They're a little wider, and when you
Right.
got look at that big punch miss. When you're wide like that, you leave space. When you have fat, a guy who's got the scalpel cuts that fat off, and that's exactly what Fulton does. He cuts that fat off. His punches get there cleaner, faster. Boy, this guy, you got to give Fulton credit to handle this pressure, but all night long, the guy just keeps coming. Not a bit of discouragement from Fulton. He looked 2 rounds ago like he was getting a little bit worn, but he has fought through it. There's that right hand. The man went southpaw. So what does Fulton do? Give him credit. I always say the top guys, they got to be a combination of being tough, all those things technically, this, that, but you got to be smart. You got to have that cerebral part. And Fulton definitely has that. Boy, this guy keeps coming. I mean,
Yeah, it's an impressive performance by Fulton. And to do it under these conditions of the pressure that you're talking about, I mean, this Figueroa is relentless.
give Figueroa a commercial, like an Ever Ready battery commercial, something like that.
Yeah, he keeps coming and coming, that's for sure.
I mean, George Foreman endorsed the grills. Give this man a battery endorsement. Really. 38 seconds, 35 seconds on my stuff, but
Yeah, I'm 40 seconds right now.
you got to give credit to both guys. I applaud them. Terrific fight. I mean, just they gave everything. Obviously, Fulton is just a completer fighter, just more complete in areas that make a big difference. Defensively, even his offense shorter, more succinct, more accurate. He combines defense and offense. Mr. Figueroa, it's about offense. His offense is his defense, and his heart is always apparent. And so is Fulton's. The funny thing is, the smart fighters sometimes don't get as much credit for having heart. Like nobody would say, "Oh, what great heart Floyd Mayweather has." But he's got great heart. When he had to show it, he's shown it every time. But when a guy doesn't have to, show it all the time by taking a lot of times people will forget or mistake that as, well, maybe he's not as brave, or maybe he's doesn't have as much in that department. And it's not true. Fulton showed when he had to. He's got plenty of heart, but he also didn't have to show it as much because he had something else. He had science. He had smarts. He had defense. He had what we call the more complete package. And he looked good with a guy that is just a guy that will beat so many guys just with his relentless, nonstop attack. But I gotta take a second to remind and reflect, Bud, and I want to see what you think about this, of a reminder of how good Inoue is to have done what he did with the guy who just got his hand raised, Fulton, who won the fight. I didn't hear the scores. Maybe you get the scores for me. But he just won a unanimous decision. But then when you reflect back on the way Inoue took him apart, it's just a reminder how Inoue is a different level than most fighters.
Yeah, no question. He's in rarefied air. And I think that was a good point what you were saying about just a minute ago about a lot of times the smarter guy doesn't get the credit. You give the credit how tough Figueroa is. He's nonstop all night. But to fight that fight and to do it over the entirety of the fight and the discipline, extremely impressive performance tonight by Fulton. I didn't hear all the scores. I heard it sound like 117, 111, maybe 116, 112. I'll be able to pull it up here in a second, but sounded like they got it right. A wider unanimous decision for Fulton.
Yeah, I would. It seems that way. Seems that way. That was one that was kind of hard to not get it right. I mean,
Yeah, that was pretty straightforward scoring there.
See, that's what I like to see. You're gonna laugh, Bud, because what the heck, Teddy? Dad, you're talking about that? I like to see a well-groomed beard. I like to see a well-trimmed, like you, Bud. I'd like to see a well-trimmed beard. There was a day where the commissions would not let you in a ring if your beard wasn't trimmed. It wasn't what they would say appropriate within the jurisdiction of what was allowed, within what the commissions would say was acceptable. But nowadays, you see beards that, I mean, they're Santa Claus beards, and you're like, wow. I guess there is no restriction, there is no rule. But there was a day when there was a rule on how thick your beard could be. Why? Well, two reasons. One, they felt it could cushion a blow, and the other was they felt that you could use it on the inside to move your head around. And sometimes, believe, I know it's a little nasty, but boxing can be a little nasty. You could use it sometimes to move it around and irritate somebody's skin or open up a cut a little more. You know, you could use it in those kind of ways. So there was a rule back in the day. Actually, I remember guys from the commission coming into the locker room, but before the night of the fight, when you got to the locker room, and bringing a razor and shaving cream and handing it to a fighter and saying, here, take it off, or you're not fighting. You don't see that today.
Yeah, that's for sure. Today, you see the big beards, the better beards of the world, and guys where, yeah, I always think what happened to the rules from what I remember as a kid, where that wasn't allowed, and now it seems like it's no longer a rule. Anything is allowed when it comes to the length of the beards. But we do have a surprise guest who's about to jump in and crash the party here with us with the Benavidez Morrell fight coming on up soon in a second.
Oh, my man. Where is he? Where is he?
Should be joining any second, getting connected.
There he is. There's my man. Is that him? Is that him? Can I do a Rocky introduction? The man needs no introduction in the civilized world. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Antonio Tarver, the former light heavyweight cruiserweight champion of the world. Antonio, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Teddy. Thank you, man. I'm enjoying tonight's fight, man. It's a hell of a card.
I tell you that what we used to call phone booth fights, right?
Right.
I mean, you know, they're not taking any time introducing each other. They're going across the ring and they're getting at it.
Straight at it.
I tell you, I was talking about, I don't know how many people, they realize that you were a light heavyweight, cruiserweight champ of the world, but I don't know if they realize, you know, because we're talking about guys like Morrell, we were watching Andy Cruz in the locker room that were great amateurs, and even though they don't got a lot of pro fights, their amateur pedigree allows them to have the position they have to be able to fight and beat guys with more pro fights, because that amateur experience is so great and so important. And I don't know if a lot of people realize what a great amateur fighter you are, because I want to give you that recognition on top of everything else, that you were bronze medalist in the Olympics, but you were one of the greatest amateurs we've ever had in the United States. I mean, you up there with the Mark Brelands, with those kind of guys, the Sugar Ray Leonards, the Howard Davises. You know, of course, they were part of the greatest Olympic team, in my estimation, of all time. But you were a tremendous amateur, winning the Pan Am Games, winning the World Championships. I just wanted to give you that a little extra something that you deserve. And I couldn't have a better guy to do these fights with and to do this main event with, when you're looking at one of them again, where a lot of people are going to say, wait a minute, he's only got 11 fights. Can Morrell be in there with a guy who's got that many, 29 fights, that many more fights, almost 3 times as many pro fights? But nobody could speak to that better than you on the affirmative. Have at it.
Yeah, Teddy, you're absolutely right, man. It's just the fact that when you're on that amateur level and you at that level, when you're fighting the top of the world in each country, man, it really, you have to be able to master every style. You feel me? You can't get, trapped in, oh, I'm going to fight this style, I'm going to use this. You got to be able to switch to do what you can do at that moment to win that fight. So a style really will handicap you. You got to adjust and acclimate to everything that's going on in front of you. Reaction. That's what we learn in the amateurs, how to react on things that are happening so fast. And we able to download that information. And you only got 3 minutes and 3 rounds to do it. So that's what makes these amateurs, when you're at that level, you're able to compute these things so effortless in a heated situation like they're going to see later on tonight.
And you fought on the biggest stages. A lot of people don't understand that. You fought on the Olympic stage. You fought on the World Champion stage. You fought in front of the hot lights. And you fought top guys. You know, guys go pro, right? Right. And let's be honest. It's a honeymoon. The first year, year and a half. 2 years. First 2 years. Okay, I was trying to give you a little more crap. But yeah, you're right. The first 2 years is a honeymoon. You know, you're fighting hand-selected guys. You're fighting, cherry-picked guys. You're building your resume. You're building your record. You're getting attention. All of that stuff. But in the amateurs, you're not doing that. In the amateurs, you spent the later part of your last 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, once you get to that level, fighting the best fighters every time out. Every time out.
You're right about that. Yeah, no tune. You're right about that.
Who am I fighting this week? A Russian. Okay. All right. How about next week? Oh, next week, don't worry about it. You got a Cuban. What? What?
Right.
What about next week? Well, next
Germans.
week you got a German. What? I mean, you're not getting any layups. You're not getting any freebies. It's almost like being in the UFC, where I've always had a theory. The reason these UFC fighters, so many of them are dangerous, and they got 8 losses, 5 losses, 10 losses, 6 losses, and they're so because they learned how to fight, because they were fighting not cherry-picked guys. They were fighting tough guys. Yeah, they lost some of their fights, but they learned along the way.
Right. And that's a development that we have to have. And a lot of times when you have those 2 years, you got to pick the right fights for these guys. You got to get those guys to be challenged as they're going up, because you don't want to know. You want to know beforehand that your guy is going to at least fight when he get on that stage. He's going to give you what you need him to give you. You know what I mean? You don't want to have no questions in the back of your mind. Well, does this guy have a chin? Does this guy have heart? Is he resilient? And can I tell him something where he can go out there and execute? That's
100%.
That's the key to it, Teddy.
And here's another part, and I'm so glad I have you on. You know, it's actually nice to have people that actually know boxing. That is, wow, how nice that is. You know, how nice is that? But I'll tell you, there's one other part to it. Yeah, you have to know what your guy can handle. Yeah, you have to know where you can put him. Yeah, you have to know that he can swim in the deep waters. But the fighter himself has to know. And that's what he finds out. They find out they can depend on themselves. I'm sure you went through that. There had to be a fight where you found out that at the end of the fight, it might not have been your best fight, but at the end of the fight, you said, I can handle myself. I can handle myself at this level.
That part. I remember that day. Yeah. Unfortunately, it came with an L. It was that day I got my jaw broke against Eric Harding, man. Just making it through that fight with 4 rounds. I thought I was winning prior to the jaw break, but it was a close fight. And to save something, not get knocked out, not quit on myself, and to make it through that fight with that broken jaw, I knew I had everything that I had inside of me to become a champion from a loss.
That was the moment for you. That was the coming of Antonio Tarver, the fight that you needed to get to that next place, to know what, it didn't matter what everyone else knew, that you knew, I can do this, I can do it at this level, I can depend on this guy.
100%.
And I remember that fight. And then you beat him in the rematch, if I remember correctly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And then that was, I felt like I had came full circle as a fighter, as a champion. I thought I was ready at that moment after I reclaimed that, after I avenged that first loss. I felt like I came full circle. Before that moment, I don't think I was ready to become world champion, if you know what I mean.
I hear you. And listen, they're coming in the ring now. We're gonna do this fight together. And a couple things, Antonio, for the folks out there, real quick. Here's how I surmise this fight. I think that it's a more, I know it's going to sound funny, it's a more dangerous fight for Benavidez. I think that he can be winning the fight and get knocked out. I actually think that the other guy might be a little more sophisticated in certain ways. He's definitely not as busy. His hands ain't as fast. They're both good body punchers. He's not as dedicated to the body as Benavidez is. Not too many guys are. Not too many guys are. He doesn't live and die by his aggression, even though he wants to be the boss. He wants to push the envelope. but he's also a guy who can be more patient, a little bit more conservative, a little bit more deliberate. He can be a good counterpuncher. He's a good puncher. And when you're fighting a guy who is as aggressive as Benavidez is, there can sometimes be a little recklessness in that aggression. And it can give a guy, and I'm saying it can give a guy like Morrell an opportunity to catch him coming in, catch him maybe in between a punch, catch him maybe being overly aggressive. And I think the burden, the pressure is on Benavidez to bring the fight. And that pressure brings danger with it. It can bring victory. It can bring great things, but it can bring danger with it when you're fighting a guy like Morrell who can counterpunch, who can punch good. I don't know if people realize that in this fight, I think he's the puncher. I think Benavidez is the quicker hands. I think he's the busier guy. I don't think Morrell outworks Benavidez, but I think he could hurt him. What do you think?
I think Benavidez, I think David has, I believe, different wrinkles to his game. We've seen that when he fought guys like Caleb Plant, who was more of a boxer.
He's got the better resume. He's got the better resume.
Right. No, I'm saying style-wise.
No, but he does. He has fought the better guys.
Right.
That does mean something. He has the experience with the better resume, does Benavidez. But Morrell, I don't think we've seen the best of him yet. And if we're gonna, it's probably gonna be here.
Right. Another thing I think is a big factor. David Benavidez don't get hit solid a lot. He has his hands up. He has pretty good defense. I think if you get overzealous with a lot of punches, which I think Morrell does sometimes, he can be in line for a serious counter from David Benavidez. That's what I'm thinking. Because David has been able to fight backwards, circling the ring, and he still keeps his hands up nice. I think if Morrell going to win this fight, he's going to have to do a Lara all night long, Cuban-style boxing, and really limit those dangerous exchanges. Put David Benavidez behind that 8-ball where he has to be aggressive, and that's when you use that Matador and the Bull. He's going to have to beat him on a decision. I think if he get overzealous and stay there too long, David Benavidez, I believe, clips him if he's not smart tonight.
Listen, that sounds smart, logical. Why wouldn't it be? You're smart. You're a former champion. You're not. The one thing I left out with all the accolades I was throwing at you, all deserved accolades,
Thank you.
is that you're a hell of a commentator too. I should not have left that out. I should not. Besides, you have a great smile. I should not have left any of that out. I'm going to finish with this before we get to the fight. I'm going to say that Benavidez, I'm not telling you anything that people don't know. They don't need Teddy Atlas to tell them this. But he's the busier guy. But tonight, it's not only about being busy. It's not about only throwing punches. It's about placing punches too.
Punch placement. Yeah, I was going to mention that. And that's what I'm saying. Morrell can't get overzealous. He's going to have to be real careful about how many punches he let go because he like to.
See, I'm going to go the opposite. And this makes for great conversation and fight together. Okay. I'm going to go the exact opposite. I'm going to say the guy who can't get overzealous is Benavidez.
Okay, we on the same mindset, but we got both guys pictured wrong, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I agree.
I'm going to say Benavidez can't get intoxicated with his punch output. He can't get overboard with his aggression. That he can't get overzealous where he's going to get caught something.
Oh, this first round going to be very interesting.
Where are you at so we can see where the timing
right now they're face to face in the center of the ring. How far are we behind?
Okay, so you're a little bit behind me. Right now, they're both in their corners. Morrell, well, now they're both in their corner.
Okay,
And we're about
I'm gonna
2
let you know when
seconds.
the bell come on. I'm gonna let you know when the bell rings.
And I'm going to tell you, the bell just rang.
Oh,
Ding!
you ahead of me by about
Okay.
5 seconds.
All right. All right. Well, we got our start. Morrell's the southpaw. Benavidez is the orthodox fighter. And I'm sure Antonio's with me by now. And they're both trying to be cautious, use the jab. The jab is the key. You know that, Antonio.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The jab is the key to the kingdom. The key to the kingdom, baby. But the jab can be dangerous. You better not push it. You better not throw it from too close, because if you do, you get counted. And the most dangerous punch to me, Antonio, and you would know this better than most, for a southpaw is that right hook. Because when you're fighting a southpaw and you're the orthodox fighter, you're not used to seeing that right hook come from that position. You don't always pick that punch up with your peripheral.
And you're right, but you know what? Most southpaws don't have strong right hooks. So if you got a right hooker like Marvin Hagler had, I was never really a serious right hand puncher, but you got to throw that punch just to keep those guys, conscious of that shot coming on that side.
100%. And you better, if you're Benavidez, you better not reach in, because if you reach in, one of the most dangerous punches a southpaw can throw is that right hook counter while you're reaching in, that counter right hook.
Oh, you're absolutely right. That's a dangerous punch.
Because you don't see it. What are you seeing right now, Antonio?
Right now, I just saw Morrell counter David right in the blue corner.
I told you he's gonna.
120 right now, 120 left in the round.
I'm at 108.
Yeah, you about 15 seconds ahead of me. You ahead of me, yep.
I can look like a genius. I wish you could bet like this, where you can put a bet in and you're ahead of the bookie.
Well, right now, it look like Morrell's controlling this round with that jab again.
Well, so far, I feel good about the way I sized it up, that Morrell's going to be a little more contained, a little bit more patient, a little more controlled. The busier guy, the more aggressive guy, the guy taking more chances, the more offensive-oriented guy is going to be Benavidez.
And look at David Benavidez right now going to that body. He's attacking that body.
Well, that's his thing, right? Antonio, wouldn't you say out of everything, that's his thing?
Yeah, that's his bread and butter, that body attacking. That's what makes him so dangerous. If a guy is working that body the first 2 or 3 rounds, if this fight goes late, look for that body attack to show up and really affect Morrell down the stretch.
Yeah, that's the end of the first round for me. And Morrell throws a kiss to Benavidez, but that ain't doing him nothing, because Benavidez is throwing punches, not kisses.
That was a really close round. Both guys had their moments in that round. I don't know, Ted, if it's going to be like this, we're going to get a close one.
I think you might favor Benavidez a little busier. I know you don't win it just by being busy, but he might have controlled the tempo of the fight just a little bit. It was very close. I'm in agreement with you. Very close. And it's only going to heat up.
Most definitely.
They're showing replays on mine here, Antonio.
Right now, we got Benavidez in the corner with his pops.
Yeah, Benavidez just landed 2 right hands behind the ear. Talk about that punch, what it's like getting hit behind the ear.
Well, you know what? It's tough because you don't see that punch coming. It's effective. But like I said, that's a new wave of these fighters. They throw that looping right hand, that looping backhand. I was always taught to throw mine straight. So, I try to stick to the old school style, but it's effective. I don't know if that was a punch that will knock someone out, but other than it just aggravates them.
Well, I know one thing. It can throw your equilibrium off if you hit a guy behind the ear.
Most definitely.
And it can screw you up. And I'll tell you another thing. I give credit to Benavidez for throwing that round. He got caught a left hand there. I give credit to Benavidez for throwing that round right hand. You know why, Antonio?
Why is that?
Because he threw it behind the glove.
Right.
And that's what he's trying to do. Yeah, he's trying exactly. He knows the target is not where you want it to be. It's not with the straight right hand right now. So he's throwing it. He sees Morrell's keeping his glove up well. So he's throwing it behind the glove.
Smart.
Oh, you're getting both guys now coming back and forth a little bit. And I think for me, the danger for Benavidez is being aggressive. It looks beautiful. He's in charge right now. He's coming forward. He's working. But we've been around too long, you and me. You know that can change on a dime. Where all of a sudden you're being aggressive, you get a little over aggressive, and you get caught with a counterpunch. To me, that's the way the fight's going to go if Morrell's going to win. If it doesn't go that way, Benavidez is going to outwork him.
Yeah, I think so because, David Benavidez really has his antennas up. He know this guy's trying to land that counter shot on him, so he's going to really be feeling the waters. Like I said, he can't get overzealous unless he know David Morrell is hurt. He can't let him set him up and sneak a tough, hard shot in on him because he's definitely trying to set that trap right now.
100%. The busier guy, like we said, Benavidez, there he goes behind the ear again. But there goes Morrell.
Hit him too.
Yeah, Morrell came right back. Morrell came back. You didn't see it yet. Morrell came back real quick.
Oh, I see the one you was just talking about behind the ear. Oh, good uppercut by Morrell. Yeah, that's what Morrell need to be. I think he's going to start letting his hands go a little bit more now.
He might have to before the tempo of the fight, the control of the fight, the theme of the fight is too much controlled by Benavidez with his being the boss. I think the uppercut might be there for Morrell.
Both of them trying to establish that jab still.
See, this is a case, the round just ended for me. Antonio, this is a case, I'm going to go and repeat myself.
Okay.
This is a case of one man's busier and throwing more, and that would be Benavidez. And the other man, Morrell, is looking, he's not as busy, but that's not his game. He's looking to place the right punches and hope when he does that he can affect Benavidez to the point that he can open up then.
You're right. I think both of these guys, the fill-out round is over with. I think they're going to start taking a few more chances right now. A little gambling now. They're going to start gambling with the shots. Again,
there's a left hand. A left hand just landed on the replay by Morrell. But see, there's a little trick. Have you done this before? Where Benavidez uses his left hand to pull down the glove and then hit him with the right hand. You see that little trick there?
Yeah, that's a strategy. That's a strategy. He knew that was going to be there too.
I wonder if the referee's going to let him keep getting away with that, though.
Yeah, that is a foul. I don't know if that's pulling that glove down. That's a foul, but I don't know. The ref didn't call it. There you go. Morrell with a good combination. You probably saw it before I did.
Yep. Again, Antonio, Morrell looking to place, be conservative, not waste anything. Benavidez looking to outwork him, to allow his abundance of punches to work for him.
Now Morrell's pressing now. He knows he's going to have to get a little bit more aggressive. And I believe this is how this fight is really going to open up here in a minute, Teddy. Now, this is what I don't like. Morrell let them hands go when he gets real comfortable. He's going to have to keep his hands up, and that might be something he's just not used to doing because he's so comfortable in the ring.
I see what you're talking about. But one thing about Morrell, and that's all the experience that, from all the years and all the amateur fights, when he sees Benavidez get close, you'd be damn sure the hands get up.
Oh, yeah. He's disciplined when it comes to that.
Antonio, a lot of people don't realize, they say, Teddy, the guy's got his hands down. But he's got his hands down when he's out of range.
Out of range, right. But I was saying sometime when David want to throw 4, 5, 6 punches, He bring those hands down. It's really scary. But again, he's comfortable. He got his antennas up, and he can feel the danger.
More punches maybe by Benavidez, but again.
Oh, that uppercut got in. That uppercut got in.
The uppercut's there for both guys, Antonio.
It's good. Morrell firing back, though. You know, even if David Benavidez score, you see David try to answers right away. So that's good.
There's been a pretty good round for Morrell.
I agree. He's being a little bit more aggressive here. Ooh.
This is a good round for Morrell.
And that's where he needs this fight needs to look more like that, with Benavidez back on the rope and David pressing him.
You know what Morrell's doing? He's doing a little bit of what he's pot shotting pretty nice.
Exactly.
Pot shotting. You know, he's doing a little bit what you talk about, Antonio, and I'll put it in layman words. He's making it his fight. He's making it his kind of fight.
Yes. He's fighting his style right now.
He's not going to stay, he's not going to stay in the pocket and just engage in what is the fight of Benavidez and what got Benavidez here, what got him the nickname, the Mexican Monster. He's going to keep range. He's going to pot shot. He's going to look for science to be more part of it. He's going to make it his kind of fight.
I think he's on the way to doing that. And if he wants to do that, he's going to have to negate all those offensive barrages that David Benavidez is bringing to him. Now, if he can hit him and make him miss, get out and make David Benavidez miss, then he's fighting his fight. He's adding on rounds. But let's see how effective David Benavidez's offense is. Can he still score, and can he still land effectively while Morrell is having some of his best moments?
And what he's if he does what you're talking about, Antonio, and he being Morrell, the way he's gonna do it is not allow, I talk about this a lot, the geography of the ring. Who controls the geography that is best suited for their skill sets? And the geography for Benavidez has to be in close. And for Morrell, it's at a distance. And that's what he's looking for, to try to have a little separation. And right now, Benavidez is going to work. I don't know if you catch it.
Oh, he got counted. He caught him.
Yeah, he's going to work now. He's getting in that geography. He's getting in close. That's his territory. Now, it doesn't mean he can't get caught. Look, to your point.
The barrage. This is what he needed to avoid.
100%.
Avoid this.
But now Morrell's taking it outside. He's trying to take it outside and do what you say. Get off and then get away before the Mexican Monster gets into the trenches.
Before he rains down on you.
Yeah.
I gotta love that boy pressure, though. Look at that. He hasn't neglected the body. You gotta admire his pressure and the way he execute. I mean, I love it, man. And hats off to Morrell. He's fighting back, but he can't sit there on the ropes.
Now it's in the center of the ring. He's getting caught. He's getting caught with that uppercut. We both talked about the uppercut for both guys, and you're going to see it right now. Benavidez doing some big work. Big work.
Oh. This is what I was afraid of.
You talked about raining. Let me tell you something. He brings rain showers of punches, but he does it in spots. Where, when it rains in a spot, then it stops. He does it in spots. He punches like in Florida, where you live. 1 minute it's pouring, the next minute it stops. Right now the rain stopped. And this is where Morrell's got to do something.
He got to land something real big right now to take this big third round away from Benavidez.
You see where the rain stopped here for a minute? You see it? It stopped for a minute. But that's where he's got to get on the outside, Morrell, and do some work. Benavidez closed the gap. Wow, it's a real war right now.
He hurt him. He bumped him in. Both of them got hurt.
Yeah.
Teddy, Both
Yeah.
of them I heard right there.
Yeah, but Benavidez just landed a left hook, but they're both showing a lot of heart.
Oh, they exchanging. Woo!
Who's this better for right now? They're on the inside. Who's this better for? You got to say it's probably better for Benavidez. If they're on the inside, if they're going to fight a telephone fight, if they're going to fight this fight, we're going to be happy. We're going to cheer. We're going to go nuts. But at the end of the day, you would think that has to serve Benavidez with his experience in that kind of fight. Unless he gets caught. Unless he gets caught a big shot.
But I got to say, Morrell stood up. He didn't back down at that time. And it was important for him to let David Benavidez know, man, hey, we can take it anywhere you want to go. That was a hell of a round. Both of them had their shots. Both of them landed big counters. Man.
But that was Benavidez' round, though.
But guess what, Teddy? It took a lot out of him, though. It took a lot out of him that round. Let's see who comes back and control this next round. It's going to be important. It's going to be important to see who come out and grab this beginning of this next round.
Oh, that right hook. Whoa! That right hook we talked about of Morrell's. Do you see it right now in the replay? That hurt. That buckled the knees of Benavidez.
And you know what? That right punch, that right hand was so short, I think Benavidez ran into it, but he got hurt bad right there.
But it was the punch we're talking about that is the dangerous punch when you're fighting a southpaw. That counter right hook. You can walk into it.
It was quick, too. He didn't see it coming. It was about 3 inches.
It hurt him. His legs buckled on that one. But I tell you one thing, Louis de Cubas, who's a tremendous boxing guy, who's the manager of Morrell, at the press conference, I don't know if you saw it, but at the press conference, he got a little bit in the face of Benavidez and he said, we're going to find out what kind of chin you have. And if you can take his punch, then I don't know nothing about boxing. You have a better chin than I thought you did. Well, you know what? He showed a pretty good chin right there.
Sure did. He sure did. And they have it 2 rounds to 2, Teddy. And right now, it looked like both of these guys looking from that 4th round, they taking this round off a little bit. You see David trying to execute and get that jab established. Morrell still trying to set that trap, though. Both of these guys got to be careful not to get hit with a solid shot right now because they're both looking to hurt each other real bad.
I'm trying to stay out of this, not trip you guys up, but you're right, Antonio. They 2-2 on television, Larry Hazard does on the unofficial card, but Vegas has 9-1 right now, live betting. Benavidez, 9-1 favorite live.
Give me some, buddy. Get me down. Get me down on a little play. Just get me down on a little play. Little play. Get a little bit. I'll put it up for Antonio too. Just a little bit.
Watching, Teddy. This don't look like no 9-1 fight to me.
If you're gonna give me 9-1, Antonio, I gotta take a little.
Gotta take it right now. Yeah.
Well, plus 500 for Morrell, plus 550 to be exact.
Wow.
Wow, I'm so glad my buddy. That's my buddy there, Antonio. That's my man.
I say hello.
Yeah, that's my
man.
Yeah,
good seeing you, champ. I'm just trying to stay out of the way and let you guys.
There come
It's
Morrell.
amazing for me to just listen to you guys.
See, Morrell gonna wish he really employed a body attack. Look at Benavidez, bro. That's gonna catch up with Morrell down the stretch. Now look at him standing tall, throwing those arm punches. That's gonna get him knocked out. Morrell gonna have to really stay tight. He's starting to square up now.
100%, 100%. He's starting to look a little, a little worn, just a little bit, a little bit. I mean, you got that kind of pressure on you, it wears you out.
That body shot.
Nice left hook to the body. Nice left hook to the body. Oh, he came back with a nice counter left hook. Now, boy, this is a hell of a fight. It is everything we asked for. Everything we asked for.
Yes, yes, it is.
Talking about the body punching that you were talking about, how important it is. I used to always say, Antonio, that body work is like buying a CD. You get interest. You don't see your money right away, but if you leave it in the bank a little while,
4 rounds.
Yeah.
4 rounds.
You're going to get paid.
Right. Exactly. I agree.
And that's kind of what Benavidez is all about. He's about investing in CDs.
Exactly.
He puts money in the bank by going to the body and hoping that it's going to pay interest later in the fight. Watch your replays here, Antonio.
Okay.
Tell me what you're seeing.
Right now, I got David Benavidez back to the ropes. He's blocking all that. That's what I say. He got that high guard. None of those punches landed. And now he's able to dig to the body and score effectively. That's the mark of a real seasoned champion.
So what you're saying is that part of the mark of having 29 fights in a pro.
Exactly.
There ain't no replacement for experience, right, Antonio?
It's not, man. Especially at this level.
Well, here they go, Antonio. Morrell's been backed a little bit into the ropes, but he got off the ropes, and he's trying to keep space. If he's got space, he's got a chance to catch Benavidez coming in. But when there's no space, Benavidez is in his world a little bit.
And that pressure, man, I can't explain it. I remember Glenn Johnson putting this type of pressure on me, and man, every time you try to get a little space just to breathe, you got to have your hands either working or up because something's always coming. This just wears you down, and it puts you on a hell of amount of mental stress and a mental pressure. He's trying to breathe right now and figure out, how can I slow this man down all at the same time?
Oh, that Glencoff Johnson, he was an old warhorse. He was an old, smart. He was an old, smart, solid fighter. You fought a lot of good fighters. Oh, there's that uppercut again.
Oh, he's still using that. The referee hadn't warned him yet. I guess we're going to let
that uppercut is landed by Benavidez where I am.
Oh, good uppercut. I saw that. But check this out. He's been dominating this whole 6th round. Morrell hasn't answered back like he normally would. Okay, here we go now. But I think David Benavidez just had too much success in this 6th round. Here comes Morrell now. Got him on the ropes. He landed a big hook there. Here comes Morrell still trying to push.
But you know what? Morrell is like that old coffee commercial. Good to the last drop.
Last drop. He's going to be right there in your face.
He's gonna be dangerous. He's gonna be dangerous.
Oh, he just got caught with that uppercut with his hands down. He walked right into it.
Wow, this is a good round. It's a good round. The edge has to be Benavidez, but Morrell has had his spots.
Now, if you watch that last sequence, Morrell did all those punches up top with no legs under those shots. I'm thinking he's punching already because of the effect of the body shots. He does not have a lot of leverage under his legs right now.
And would you agree with me? Out of all the assets you can have, he's got to have his power or he's in trouble. He is not outworking this man. I'll say it again for the people that might have cotton in their ears. He is not outworking Benavidez. He needs that power and he needs a delivery system to land it.
I think right now he's looking for a counter shot that can really hurt Benavidez. If he don't get that, I don't know if he have it in his legs to outbox him down the stretch. I'm thinking Morrell's going to need something big, Teddy, if he want to turn the tide of this fight. I feel like Benavidez feel like he's going to run away with it.
And he's feeling it in the corner as he's talking to us. He's feeling it in the corner as he's talking to the camera.
He's feeling confident. He feel like he really had a big round in. Yeah, see? He's confident now.
Talk to him, Antonio. Tell him don't get overconfident.
Don't get overconfident. But I think that body work that he's done, I don't know if Morrell is still fresh. I think he's wilting real fast.
Look at his uppercut. Look at his uppercut. You know what I like about it? Early on, it was the right uppercut. Now it's the left uppercut.
He's switching. He's switching with that left. Oh, that's nice. He didn't load that up. It was all speed, time.
It was beautiful. There was no giveaway to that. It was clean. It was beautiful. And you know what? The problem for Morrell, if it was just the right uppercut he had to worry about, you know what? He can look out for that. But when it's both, it's a lot harder to take it away.
It is. I believe Morrell gonna have to find a shot. He's gonna have to find a shot or have some long extended period of success, and we just not seeing it right now.
Well, we're halfway there. We're halfway there.
I think both guys are taking this round off when I think David Morrell can probably use it.
Now, when you take the round off, you know, whoever uses their jab more officially is going to have the edge.
You're right. A good jab, good jab. Speaking of jabs, now that punch, that right hook would look like a slap then. Look at that.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Morrell might not even have that snap on his punches that he's going to need. He's going to have to keep his form, stay in the fight.
Oh, that nice, those uppercuts are working. Left hook there, top. Some clean shots landed by Benavidez.
Oh.
Oh, the uppercut.
Oh,
you're going to see it. You're going to see it. That right uppercut.
Oh, and you know what happened? He got that angle. He didn't throw that from the same angle that he was throwing the other ones. I think he hurt him right there. Good counter by Morrell over top with the left.
You know what I want to see now on the inside? The right uppercut is landed, Antonio, by Benavidez. I want exactly. I want to. That's why I love having you. See. I want the short left hook right behind that right uppercut.
Oh, that'd be beautiful.
Don't hit him with one if you can hit him with two.
He dogging him right now. He trying to dog him right now, Teddy.
Yeah. And you know what that means? He's going to go back to the body then. Because there's no better way to dog a guy than to go to the body.
Good left hand.
Oh,
good body shot. He's sticking him.
Oh.
I think those legs might be gone. Look at those legs, Teddy. Look at Morrell's legs. Don't look like a whole life. Don't look like a lot of life in them no more.
And you on top of that a few rounds ago, Antonio, to your credit.
Yeah. Look at the legs. Yeah, they not. Oh, that body. Look at it. Look at the body language.
See, I think you got more money in the bank than you let on. I think you got some CDs at home.
Good body work. Oh, he getting a little sloppy now. Morrell got to stay tight. Stay tight. Look at his hands. Look at his hands dropping to his knees, Teddy.
100%. Now, I don't know if you're going to get a chance now because the corner man's in the way. But the body language of Morrell is not great in the corner. Now, look, Teddy, people are going to say, Teddy just went 7 rounds with the Mexican Monster. I get it. I understand. But the Mexican Monster looks a lot better in the corner.
A lot fresher.
Yeah. And maybe, I hate to use this word, Antonio, but maybe a little bit of discouragement showing in that body language of Morrell.
And right now, you can't question yourself. I know a lot of doubts is looming right now, but this is where all that hard work, you looking at your whole life pass in front of you right now, just thinking this thing could be slipping away. But you got to trust in that work you've done and really push past fatigue and all of those negative thoughts. This is where, a true champion is made at a time like this.
100%. The ninjas are coming over the wall, and you gotta freaking not let them come over that wall. The ninjas of self-doubt are coming over the wall. That's what you're talking about. And you're 100% right. So it's up to Benavidez to keep those ninjas coming and to not let him get
back in the fight.
Back in the fight, psychologically or physically.
You're exactly right.
But there's one other thing. If I'm in the corner of Benavidez, you know what I'm saying?
What you saying?
Don't get careless.
Don't get careless. That's it. Keep doing what you're doing, baby. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't get careless.
See, I want you in my corner if I ever had to come back,
Right. I like
come on, baby. Come on. Keep doing what you're doing, baby. Don't get careless. Oh, he's looking for those counters there, Morrell. He's losing around, but he's still looking to sneak a shot in.
Get them hands up. Morrell snuck the little left hand in there.
Benavidez going to the body again.
Now, Benavidez done fell in love with his power a little bit. He need to get those combinations back working. Both hands, we know he got speed in both hands, I think it'll be in his best interest if he start working off that speed now. Take a little bit of that
He
power.
got caught a little bit. Morrell caught him a little bit with the left hand there.
But that pressure. Ooh, good shot by Morrell. Good one, too. Again, I still wish Morrell would have employed a little body attack because, he really not breaking Benavidez down at all. He's really not breaking him down. He's landing some shots to the head, but
Good
nothing
uppercut by Morrell. Good uppercut by Morrell. He ain't going away, though.
He ain't going away.
Showing heart. He's showing the heart that you want a guy to show.
Good uppercut. Good uppercut inside by Morrell. Yep. I just saw that. You got to put some leverage behind those shots.
But Benavidez let off the gas just a little bit this round. You could see, to your point.
Yeah, this one he probably took off figuring he might be up at least 1 or 2, but he's going to try to steal this round late. Trust me. Oh, he got caught with uppercut.
He's picking spots, though. He better not get fat, though. He better not get fat. That was a round. Let me tell you something. That was a round that was more important for Morrell than Benavidez. He needed a decent round to stem the tide.
I think he got that round too. I don't know how they scored that round, but Morrell did push back. He was a lot more aggressive, and he scored in that round. So we'll see. That might have encouraged him a little bit more from that last round.
I thought he won the round close, but let me tell you, it doesn't matter. What matters is he got a better round, a round he needed. He needed a better round.
Coming off that bad round, you mean?
Yes, he needed a better round to just gain some confidence from, to build off of, to have hope off of.
I'm thinking both of these guys need that second win right now, Ted.
Yeah, I hear you. Here's the replay.
That road work. David Benavidez had fought 2 light heavyweights. He didn't knock his first light heavyweight out. Do you think that power that he had at 68 is gone forever?
I don't think he's the same. He's as effective punching-wise as he was at 168, but I don't think he was ever a hydrogen bomb puncher. I think he's a good puncher. I think he's the kind of guy that wears you down as much as he knocks you out with one shot.
A volume puncher.
A volume puncher, a pressure guy, a guy who goes to the body, dedicates to the body, a guy who wears you out through accumulation of pressure and punches.
Wow, they got David Benavidez up unofficially 7 rounds to 2. I think we're seeing a closer fight than that, but maybe they giving him that aggressiveness. For that aggressiveness, they're giving him rounds for that.
There were some rounds he was starting to dominate. There's no doubt about that, and he's having a good spot here again. I think for me, this might be the most important round right now. If Morrell doesn't have a good round and he's starting to get eaten up a little bit, you're going to see it now, Antonio.
Good body shot.
He's starting to get caught with uppercuts, but Morrell's coming back now. He's coming back a little bit, but Benavidez is having a big round.
Big round by Benavidez. Here come David Morrell now. This shows the heart of a champion. But again, he's not as effective as Benavidez. He's scoring, but it's not as effective as Benavidez shots.
I'm going to say it again. There's a minute left on mine. This round is very important for Morrell. He has to close well in this round. He's got a minute to close. He's got to close well. He has to have something to build off.
Something big right here. Go ahead, get it.
Close quarters again. Benavidez better be careful with that pulling back, Antonio. Roy Jones pulled his head back with you. What happened?
You know what happened. Let's
And
go. I love Morrell, man. He just got to stay aggressive. There you go, snatching that hand. He's snatching that hand down and landing that shot continuously.
nice finish by Morrell. I give him credit. Nice finish by Morrell, but that round was Benavidez' round.
Yeah.
And
Ooh.
and when you're this late in the fight and you're behind, there are no rounds to give up.
You have to win the championship round. That's the last two. You got to win those to even put something in the back of those judges' minds.
I think it's fair to say two things here. Antonio, tell me if you concur with me. Morrell's got to take he's got to take these last rounds. He's got to take every one of them.
I think so.
And he might have to put a cherry on top with a knockdown.
That'll be good. I think that'll help his cause. That'll help his cause to have the only knockdown in this fight and then close out the championship round. That's going to be asking a lot because, you know, David also understands, and with his experience, he knows he's going to have to close in the championship rounds. No matter what type of lead he got, he's going to have to close in the championship rounds.
Well, here we are, 10, 11, and 12. We're in the 10th round now, championship rounds, baby.
And like I said, never judge a book by its cover. I know my man was looking like he was looking bad on the way in, but his body ain't never had no muscular physique. You feel me? David Benavidez never been muscular.
Listen, that's about genetics. Not everybody has those genetics to look body beautiful. But that doesn't mean you're not in shape. That doesn't mean that you don't have the power. That doesn't mean that you don't have the things that it takes that the other guy who's body beautiful has.
Right. Body beautiful.
I've seen guys that they look like they could have used a meal. And meanwhile, they hit you on top of the head and they fracture your ankles.
Here come, man, I must say that uppercut, I didn't know that uppercut was that vicious by Benavidez. That uppercut, nasty.
And to his credit, he found it early and he stayed with it. Morrell's coming back here. Morrell's coming back. He's not going away. He ain't going away. He ain't going away.
You know what I think I would advise Morrell, man? He's going to have to punch, and it's dangerous. He's going to have to punch with David Benavidez. If he want to land that type of shot he's looking for, he's going to have to take a chance and a risk and punch with the monster.
100%. You're not going to land that big punch just by throwing naked punches. You're going to have some trickery to it. You're going to have some design to it. You're going to have to either blind him with something or punch with him where you catch him in the middle of a shot he doesn't see.
And you catch him clean. You catch him clean. That's what David Morrell needs right now, I think, to turn this fight around.
100%. Right now, it's a little bit of tit for tat, but Morrell doesn't need tit for tat. He needs it to be all in his court.
And he's throwing one punch at a time. I know he got the rhythm to throw both hands. I want to see him throw 3 or 4 at David Benavidez and see what happens.
I think what you're saying is this. Tell me if I'm right. From the beginning, I said that Morrell's temperament was to be more cautious, to be more sophisticated, to be more science-oriented. You're saying he's got to go away from that temperament a little bit and take risks.
At this time. This time. And if he wants to win, you know what I mean? He's going to have to take a chance. And we see, this is the thing. If David throws and then I throw, David going to put his hands up. But if David open up and I open up, I probably could sneak something in where he's off balance.
It's not good when it's not good when one guy's doing the shuffle and going back to the corner with his hand up, and the other guy is just shuffling back slowly.
Right.
That's not a good look.
A good sign either, right?
No, it's not the best sign in the world. But I'm going to touch on that again with you, Antonio. Sometimes you can't get styles of styles, technique, all that. but you can't get around the temperament of somebody. If it's your temperament to be more cautious, at the end of the day, you're not going to completely change that. Even if you're in those dangerous waters where you need to change that, it's hard because it's your temperament.
Right.
It's your makeup. It's your way of thinking. It's the way of living life.
So in order to change that, you're saying you got to be reprogrammed, huh?
I'm saying that you might need somebody to put a boot in your backside
Right.
and just say, look, son, I know this isn't the way we wanted it to be. This isn't necessarily your way, the way you were taught for it to be. But you know what, son? This is the way it is right now.
Right.
And sometimes that's what life comes down to. Not what you want it to be, but what it is, and you got to deal with it.
Exactly. Taking life on life terms.
I give Morrell credit. He's trying to come forward now. He's trying to come forward a little bit. But it ain't easy. It ain't easy.
You're right. And remember, Morrell is used to throwing 5, 6, 7, 8 punch combinations when he's wearing those guys down, when he got him on the rope and he just flailing away. But David Benavidez always throws back. So he knows he can only get 2 or 3 off at a time.
And remember what you said, Antonio. We both said it, but I'm going to give you the credit for it. You said that body work would pay dividends down the stretch for Benavidez, where it would leave less gas in the tank for Morrell if he needed that tank. And right now, that tank's not as full as maybe he wants it to be because of that body work.
Yeah, I'm at 119. And again, Morrell is busier than he's been in this round. But again, David Benavidez with those hands high, he's just working, but he's missing. He's not landing anything effective. And he had David Benavidez on the ropes there about 20 seconds.
And now the last 50 seconds, Benavidez is kind of like taking the attitude, okay, it's my turn now. I'm going to look now to see if I close the round. But again, I'm going to give Morrell credit. He has shown the championship heart you need to be in this kind of fight. That's not a knockdown. That's not a... Oh, my God. They counted it as a knockdown. Antonio.
Hold on. Let me look.
I didn't think it was a knockdown, Antonio. I got to see it again.
Oh, on top of the head. I don't know it.
All right. If he got hit and he went down, then it's a knockdown. I got to see it again. But I'll tell you one thing. Benavidez didn't argue with it.
Well, hopefully this motivates Morrell.
Whoa, he got hurt. He got hurt. That was a late punch. That was a late punch there. He's going to get a point taken away, I think.
Whoa. Oh,
He hurt him.
Oh, he hit him after the bell.
He hurt him after the bell. The referee's going to take a point away.
He hit him after the bell, though. But it was
more important than the point is the time he's getting to recover.
Yeah, yeah. But again,
Antonio, the most important thing now, Benavidez was hurt. The most important thing is he's getting time to recover.
I don't agree with that point because he didn't do it intentionally. It landed like, I don't think he did that intentionally. I think it was right at the bell. But they taking a point that negated that knockdown now. I'm taking a
look now. I'm getting a look now.
Okay.
Yeah, it was definitely after the bell. The referee got in there and he threw the punch. It was a little late. Tell me what you think.
Oh, it was definitely late. I just don't know how intentional it was. It probably was more of a reaction thing than anything. But
I can't argue with you, but it was late.
It was late.
The arm of the referee was in there, and the punch landed when it probably obviously shouldn't have been thrown, but it was thrown.
It was.
And look, a little. Remember the great Evander Holyfield in the Olympics when he threw a punch a little bit after the referee told them
Yes.
to, and it cost them a
That
gold
cost him
medal?
gold medal, man. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
It was
and
just like that.
a little bit. All right. Well, here we are, Antonio. What did we say? We said he needed a knockdown. He needed to win the last 2
Got a
rounds.
knockdown. He got a
And
knockdown.
he got a knockdown, but it got taken away by the point deduction. That's the only problem.
Here come Morrell now. Now, where was this aggressiveness in the 9th round? This is where we need. Look at the legs. Look how different the legs looks, Teddy. Remember when they were standing straight up? Now he has a little energy now. This is what he needed earlier.
Yeah, because we heard him. He had that end of the round he needed to get hope, to get confidence. And now Benavidez is behaving like a champion, coming back with his.
Good uppercut. Oh, looked like he hurt Morrell right there at the 2:17.
I'm at 204, and Morel now
Fighting back.
is getting a little separation, and he's looking now. But he got caught on the way in with a little short left uppercut.
Oh, I saw it. I think Morrell's going to have to learn, get better at getting that leverage and driving through those, the target. A lot of that is arm punching late. I think when he gets past 8 and 9, it's like, it's all arm punch. He starts slapping with it. He's going to have to tighten up if you want to stay at this elite level.
There's a minute 30 left on mine, and this fight to me is not over. Morrell,
you don't think it's over?
I don't think it's over because I think Morrell still has a chance to land a big shot.
Wow.
I think he's still got a shot. Although Benavidez just landed a nice uppercut. A punch that he has found as a friend all night long.
All night long, that uppercut been landing. There it goes again. You know what I think? I think David Benavidez' inside game won him this fight. I think he's been a lot more effective inside, just like that.
And you know what I think? I think that at the beginning of the fight, I said that Morrell is not winning a decision over Benavidez. If he's going to win, he's going to have to hurt him.
I didn't think he hurt him tonight. I don't think he landed that shot he was looking for to buckle him. I don't think that knockdown really took a lot out of. And look at Benavidez's face. He don't look marked. Oh, he just had a headbutt right there at the end, but he don't look really marked up or swollen up. So it don't look like a lot of those shots.
Oh, he pulled back. He's lucky he didn't get caught clean there. Benavidez just pulled back. Doing a little shuffle now. Morrell's trying to convince the judges that he should be the winner with a little alley shuffle, Cuban style.
You got to play to the crowd. You never know. You got to play to it.
But I think Benavidez earned that fight. I think that, not that I'm trying to take bows or nothing, because you're the one who should get all the bows.
No,
but I think that we won the button with this one. I said early that for me, Benavidez was going to be the busier guy, was going to be the guy that the burden of bringing pressure was going to be on him. And if he didn't get hurt, possibly knocked out, and hurt bad enough, he was going to win the fight because Morrell was not going to outpoint him. He was not going to outwork him. And at the end of the day, he did not outpoint or outwork Benavidez.
And you think all that came down to one thing, experience, like we said in the beginning. Just think 11 fights.
So. I think experience, Antonio, and I think styles. He got to impose his style in the fight more than Morrell got to impose his style. Morrell's style had to be the counter. It had to be to catch him on the outside. It had to be sophistication and a little science mixed in. And Benavidez, it had to be to impose his physicality and his will on the inside. And for the most part,
did that.
That's what he did.
I agree 100% with you, Teddy.
You know, I always say, I said it during this fight, Antonio, for me, geography is always a big part of who's going to win the fight. who is going to get the geography during the fight that benefits them and their skill sets more than the other guy. And if you're going to go by that, Benavidez got the geography that benefited him and his style more than Morrell did.
Ring generalship. That's that old saying, that ring generalship.
Let's see now if these judges are crazy or if they're because you.
Well, we know they're crazy. We know they're crazy, Teddy.
My God Almighty! I mean, you always got to have some Alka-Seltzer next to you,
right,
or Tums to settle your stomach when you're watching a fight with some of these judges.
What'd you think about the Fulton fight? You thought that was you? What'd you think about the Fulton fight?
I thought that he fought his fight. He counterpunched. He did a beautiful job. He was set to punch. He counterpunched when there was space. And then when he was on the inside, he threw the tighter, more concise, more precise punches. Again, Figueroa was throwing. He was placing punches.
I thought that pressure all night long would have been his, you feel me?
I hear you. That's his thing. He is a relentless son of a gun. You got to love him. The pressure that he brings. I guess they just gave the decision to Benavidez.
Yeah.
Which we expected. As far as that fight, Antonio, you got to love Figueroa. I mean, the guy just keeps coming and coming and coming and coming. He's like the ocean. He's like the tide.
Energizer Bunny.
He just keeps coming in, keeps coming. I told my son he should get a battery commercial. He really should.
Yeah, that's
ever ready Bud battery.
Energizer Bunny.
He just is charged and he keeps coming. He never wears out. But I give credit to Fulton. He handled the pressure. He stayed to his game. When there was space, he counted beautifully. He made him pay a price to get in. And then when he was on the inside, which is Figueroa's territory, he did a beautiful job of throwing short little counter punches.
Even with his back on the ropes.
In between the wider shots of Figueroa and placing nice body shots, even though Figueroa did too. I thought Fulton did a great job fighting his fight and handling the pressure, the relentless pressure. Benavidez, on my podcast, by the way, I did a fight plan, Antonio, and I did pick Benavidez to win the fight. That is Benavidez, right?
Yeah, he won. Better be a unanimous decision.
Yeah.
Now you know.
With the hat on, I wasn't sure who it was.
He won 115, 111 twice, and 118, 108 on the third scorecard.
That wide? Wow.
Yeah, wow. Tim Cheatham, he puts in some curious scorecards. That's a little too wide to me.
Too wide. That fight was closer than that.
Antonio, if you're a judge, you don't want your name to be Cheatham. That's all I'm gonna say.
For real, I never looked at it like that. Okay.
You know what I mean?
For real, no.
Go into some other business. Go ahead. But to be a judge,
they say I'm Cheatham. No, that don't make sense. So Teddy, who you like? You think Benavidez can compete with a Bivol or Benavidez? That's what the question is right now.
That is the question, Antonio. I still think those two guys are a little bit above.
Okay.
A little bit above. And the punches that Benavidez took, and he took some, it's going to be a little different taking them from a guy like Benavidez.
Well, for sure.
And then, of course, Bivol is a guy that, if you're going to bring that pressure, and that's Benavidez's thing.
He can box that. He can box with you, counter with you. He knows that style. Very good.
He knows what to do with that pressure.
Yeah, he does. Because he's experienced. You feel me? He had all that.
100%.
You're right. Yeah.
He knows what to do with that pressure. He knows how to control space. He knows how to counterpunch. He knows how to stay off the ropes. He knows how to, control the middle of the ring, to keep from being trapped. Even though late in the fight he got trapped by Benavidez, by Benavidez going to the body and taking those championship rounds. But I think it could be different in the rematch. It could be different in the rematch with Bivol in that fight. You can't sleep on Benavidez. He's a monster, but and I give him nothing but respect. But I think Bivol's gonna be. I think that fight probably helped him. It helped him in some of the ways we talked about earlier, where even though he was undefeated, even though he was a world champion, he had never been in with the boogeyman.
Never.
And he survived the boogeyman.
He handled it. He handled it, Antonio. And Yeah.
when you handle the boogeyman, you walk away a little better.
Oh yeah. I agree 100%. He stayed on his feet. He didn't get knocked out. Man, he took some hell of a punches, and he used this to navigate.
Yeah,
He used this to navigate it. That's why I like Bivol. But you know I'm a Benavidez fan. I like him too.
Yeah, how can you not like either one of
Yeah,
them?
both of those guys, good for the sport.
They're really good for the sport, and you're good for the sport,
Thank you,
Antonio.
Teddy. I appreciate it, man. Hey, I've enjoyed this. You feel me? Chopping it up with you, my guy. I appreciate you bringing me on. And anytime, Teddy, you let me know. We can do this anytime, brother.
Thank you, Antonio, very much.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Hey,
Thank you, Antonio.
I'm gonna get to bed, man. I'm tired. I'm gonna get to bed.
You know what? You look like you need an 8 count.
Right.
I see those eyes. I see those
I'm
eyes.
tired, man. I had a long day, brother. I appreciate it, Teddy. Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Give me a little some inserts to this when you post it. I want to, repost and let everybody know I joined you tonight.
100%. My son, he's the genius right there.
My guy, what's up? What's up, Teddy?
What's up, champ?
Like to see
I'm
you.
doing great.
Thanks for having me tonight. I appreciate you setting this up.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us. And I've been following and enjoying just listening in the background, but a lot of great comments. And I would second what a lot of the fans said tonight. You guys are two of the best commentators, period. You should both be on television, but it was a treat for a lot of people to hear you guys talk the fights tonight. So thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, Teddy. Let me know the next time, man. I'm standing by. Y'all be good. Stay blessed, okay?
God bless, Antonio.
Good night, Antonio. Thank you, champ.
All right.
Hey, bud.
Hey, so we that was exciting and fun.
Are we still on, bud?
Yeah, we're still on.
Beautiful.
We had a lot of good comments. A lot of people, like I said, enjoyed listening to you, Antonio. I thought it was really entertaining. I enjoyed being a fly on the wall and a great fight. You guys made that much better. I just wanted to, before we sign off, maybe just hear some closing thoughts from you and the fans that are still out there. Maybe they could throw a couple questions in. We didn't get to answer any during the fight. Obviously, you guys were into the fight and commentating. But before I read potentially some of the questions, after that performance for Benavidez, what would you rather see? Is it better be Bivol or is it Canelo?
That's a good question, bud. I don't know that Benavidez helped himself in the Canelo sweepstakes with this kind of fight because he looked pretty impressive. Although, and I'm open to being wrong. I'm open to the other side, to the Canelo fans that could say, but he got hit some clean punches, some uppercuts, some of those punches that are the forte, if you will, that Canelo is very good at throwing and landing on the inside, where Canelo can be very effective, very dangerous on the inside. And on the outside, where there was some success for Morrell when he counterpunched in the spots that he did. We know Canelo is a good counterpunch, dangerous counterpuncher. And we know that Canelo has something that Morrell doesn't have, that experience that Antonio was talking about, that pro experience that is very important when you get to these kind of heights of competition with these kind of men, with these kind of fights. That experience, there is no substitute for that. And I think that you can make an argument both ways. You can make an argument that Canelo might say, hey, why even go there? You know, the guy has a good shin. The guy is a relentless guy. The guy's a big, relentless guy, you know, that has skill sets, that keeps coming. At the end of the day, Canelo ain't outworking him. It would come down to what I said pre-fight here, that Morrell has to hurt him. He ain't outworking him. Canelo would have to hurt him. Could he hurt him? Yeah. Yeah, he could. Would it be interesting for the fans, for us to talk about and to see? Yeah. Do I think that that's a fight that Canelo's going to think seriously about? I don't think so. Not right now. Not unless there's something that makes him think about that. First of all, he's got someone named Crawford on his card, and he's got to get past that. I know you can say whatever you want about how much bigger he is, all that stuff. He's still got to get past that. And then we'll see. And then the fight this month is really gonna lead the way in that division. Who wins that rematch with Bivol and Benavidez? That is gonna tell a lot. Because Turki Al-Sheikh, who's been the face of boxing, let's be honest, he's made fights that nobody else has made in the last year, that the fans wanted, that the sport needed. And he has. He's rejuvenated the sport. He has already said that he's ready to have the winner of Morel Benavidez fight the winner of Bivol and Benavidez. So if that happens, well then before you could talk about anything with Canelo, you would probably first have to see the winner of Benavidez, Bivol, fight Benavidez. You would think that right now that would be the fight looking to be made. But then again, when you're a draw, when you're, you know, an icon, if you will, in the sport that Canelo has become, you can suddenly wiggle your way in, you know, where you didn't think you were going to be wiggled in. So we'll see. We had a good fight here, and now I think a lot of the fans are waiting with bated breath to see who wins the Benavidez Bivol fight, and then who would fight. And Antonio brought up a good question: who do I like? Who do you favor? Benavidez or one of those guys? I still think those guys are a little bit above, but I'm not counting Benavidez with his heart, with his work rate, with his body attack, with his pressure. I'm not sleeping on him. I'm not counting him out of anything.
Yeah, no question. Well said. Well, just to hit a couple quick questions from some of the comments from the fans. Mr. Deco86 is asking, what would you work on first for Benavidez going forward? What adjustments would you make, if any?
You can always work on defense, Mr. 86. Mr. 86 there, thank you for asking the question. You can always improve defense. He got hit with some uppercuts. He got hit with some clean. I don't want my guys getting hit clean. Let them get hit sometimes with the jab. Not too many, but the jab once in a while. Don't get hit with what's behind the jab, though. You get hit with the jab, move your head, just in case the right hand or whatever's coming behind it. But I don't want my guys getting hit with clean punches, game changes, fight changes. So I would improve my defense. On the inside, you're an inside man. You make your living on the inside. Work on not getting caught on the inside with that uppercut. And there's ways to do it. You can cover with the glove a little bit, cheat a little bit with the glove under your chin, or just get your head out of the middle, you know, or sweep. Here's the sweep, sweep a little bit. But I would work on really just the defense. His offense is terrific. I work on the defense a little bit. Same thing coming in. And I might add one thing. And his father's done a marvelous job, so how dare I add anything? But since 86 asked the question, and we always like to answer whatever questions 86 asks, I'm gonna say you're aggressive. Everyone knows you're aggressive. Everyone knows you're gonna be aggressive. So develop more of a feinting game. Feint every once in a while, because they're gonna believe you're coming. So feint every once in a while. So if they are looking to trap you, if they are looking to sneak punch you, if they are looking to counter punch you, you get it out of the way. How's that, 86? You happy?
Perfect. Let's see what else we have. Going to an earlier fight, we had a donation from Matt Borgerson. He was asking if Fulton were to unify a belt at 126 after tonight's performance, would you want to see him fight the rematch against Inoue if Inoue moves up to 126?
Listen, I like Fulton. I like the heart he showed. I like his science. I like not just his science. I like the way he mixes science and just being a fighter down and dirty. He mixes both up. When he had to be just a fighter, he was a fighter. When he had to have science, he had science. He had a nice mix. I like Fulton. Nothing not to like. But I don't think he belongs in there with Inoue. I just think Inoue, the way he won that fight, I don't need to see that again right now. I'm sorry. Taking nothing away from Fulton. I know you're going to get a few haters that are going to come after me with that. That's okay. You know, I get it. I understand, I think, maybe. I don't know. But I just don't think that's a fight that you look for or your team looks for. You get back to the winning ways. You got a title again. You know, you move forward and you stay away from any green monsters on the road or whatever they are.
Yeah, we had a question also asking if Benavidez is to fight against Beterbiev, let's say, how do you think the pressure of Benavidez, or what does the pressure of Benavidez look like against Beterbiev being usually the guy putting the pressure on you?
A mushroom cloud. I'm going to keep that one short and succinct, which you love. My buddy loves that when I keep it short and succinct. My buddy, I love my buddy. I love you. I love when he smiles. I love. But a mushroom cloud. You're going to have detonation. And we're all going to sit back and we're going to say, wow. I think, look, the problem with being in there with a puncher like Benavidez is that Benavidez is a cumulative puncher, good puncher, but a cumulative body, all that stuff, but not really a one-punch guy. Benavidez got the edge where he can do it both ways, wearing you down to the body, putting them together, putting pressure on from the first round on, but he can hit you with one punch and end your night. That is the difference in those two punches, those two styles, and those two aggressive fighters.
Yeah, we got a question from Gustavo. He's asking what one of your thoughts were on the early prelims fight, but Gustavo, we didn't start watching until the Pitbull Cruz fight tonight due to some technical issues. So Fierro Pitbull fight was about when Teddy tuned in. So sorry, we can't answer that one for you.
Yeah, if I had you, Gustavo, as a technician, we might have been able to step in a little earlier, but we didn't. And all we had was me, and I'm not a technician. And therefore, my poor son had to suffer and wait until I finally got it figured out on my side. I'm kind of like the line from Sonny in the movie when he said to Tom Hagen, the consigliere, Pop had a wartime consigliere, and I got you. My son is like, I've been in the NFL for 15 years, and I had top technicians, and I got you. But I thank you, buddy, for tolerating me and for helping me with this show and for getting me to do the live streaming. and for making it possible for me to do the live streaming. And Sam and Richie, our team. But I thank you for getting involved in my show now and doing the things to take us to a higher level, to take us to places that the fans want us to go. Thank you.
Yeah, you always say it's not how you start, it's how you finish. We were able to finish strong and get you on right on time, so it all worked out.
My father always told me, bad start, good finish. I always think of my father. He always said, bad start, good finish. And the time I thought about him the most was when I had Michael Morrell fight Evander Holyfield in that first fight for the heavyweight championship. And Morrell got dropped in the second round. And I started praying. In the corner, I did. Thank God the camera wasn't on me. I started praying in the corner, God, please. And then I heard my father's words, bad start, good finish.
That's right. We got a question from Matt Borgerson. He was asking about the Fierro Pitbull fight when you were having some of the technical difficulty. Is that worthy of a rematch, or if Pitbull should look for bigger fights before that rematch? And I would say that Pitbull Cruz would not want to run that back. You take your win, you keep it moving. It was a really tough fight. There's probably a little something of him left in the ring, but it'd be hard to see him entertaining and wanting that rematch before trying to move on to some bigger fights.
Pitbull is a real fighter. He'll take on a lot of challenges, any challenge. He's not going to run away from it. He behaves like a fighter, no doubt about it. But I agree with you 100%. You know, it probably wasn't expected to be as tough as it was, even though some of these judges might not have scored it that way. I'd have to watch the whole fight to really, really properly expound on it. So I'm not going to go too deep. But I agree with you that this is a fight, you take your win and you move on. Bigger and better things, bigger and better fights. Or bigger fights. I shouldn't say better because his opponent conducted himself very well.
Yeah. We had you've called many of his fights world champion Paul Spadafora in the comments tonight.
Oh, Paulie Spadafora, real smart fighter, southpaw, great southpaw, world champion, tremendous, talking about counter punches, talking about pure boxes. That was Paulie Spadafora.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to watch. I remember on a lot of the Friday night fights you were commentating, seeing Paulie. So it was nice to see a familiar name pass along here.
Gustavo's he understood. He made a living with the sweet science.
Yeah, we got a couple more questions we'll try to hit quick. Gustavo's asking, Gustavo Martins, if Benavidez wins, does he retire?
That's a good question. You know, I like to see some of these guys, especially when you're 40, 41. I like to see them walk off into the sunset like in a movie, a good movie. You know, not a sad movie, a happy movie. I've seen too many sad movies in my business in my 50 years. Sad movies with Joe Louis, sad movie where I didn't see personally, but sad movies where I did see personally with Muhammad Ali and great, great, great men and fighters that didn't leave soon enough. And I wouldn't be against Benavidez. I'm not saying he shouldn't continue. He's a young 40, 41. I get it. How can you argue with what he's doing? But at the same time, that guy is undefeated. That guy named Old Man Time, he is undefeated. And you never know when he's going to knock on your door. That's the son of a gun about it. You just don't know when he's going to knock. And sometimes it ain't before the fight. Sometimes it's during a fight. I'd rather see someone as great as he's been to the sport and as much pride as he fights with. I would love to see a guy like that just walk away into the sunset too soon rather than too late. I love to see the same thing for Usyk. I love Usyk. I love him as a man, as a human being, what he represents, how he fights, how he wins, everything about him. I love what he does for the sport, everything. I can't lie to you. I know there's still plenty in him. But as you start to get to that point in your career, I would not have a problem if he walked away, because I want to see happy endings.
Goku is asking who would win, Rocky Marciano or Sonny Liston?
You know, that's a hell of a question, a hell of a good question. Sonny Liston is one of the underrated great heavyweights. He could punch, he could box. He was a mean, nasty son of a gun. He had the best stand down scowl probably in the business. He evaporated some guys just with that scowl. He could punch like hell. He might have had the best jab in the history of boxing. A lot of people are going to get on me. I don't give a damn. I know what my judgment tells me and why it tells me. Ali had a great jab. Holmes had a great jab. I understand all of that. This man he didn't throw it as often. He didn't throw it as much, so he doesn't get as much credit. When he threw it, it was like a sledgehammer hitting you. It was like a foam pole. It was like George Foreman's jab when he threw it. And it was straight, it was accurate, and I'll tell you, it was long. It was long. He could hit you from across the street with this damn thing. And it changed fights when he hit you with that jab. He was a hell of a fighter, Sonny Liston. You know, unfortunately, you know, he had a lot of demons. He had a lot of ugly things surrounding him in life and in his professional life too. A very, very sad life, sad ending of his life. But he was a hell of a fighter. I tell you this is how I'm going to answer you. If I had Rocky Marciano, I ain't putting him in the ring with Sonny Liston. How's that? Is that fair enough, bud?
That makes sense. I don't think I would want to go in there with the bear either if I had a fighter.
Marciano, tough. He could punch like hell. He was smaller, but, you know, the guys were smaller back in that day. And he was a relentless guy. He had a hell of a chin, you know, all of that. And tough as they come and wear you down with his conditioning. But let me tell you something. You don't want to be hit. When you're a guy that comes forward and you can hit the guy, and you could hit Marciano, you don't want to be getting hit by that guy, Sonny Liston.
We'll stick with the old school, the history. I'll throw one more at you. We got Maurice asking 85 Michael Spinks versus 73 George Foreman. 1973 Foreman versus 1985 Spinks.
Michael Spinks. Michael Spinks had the Spinks jinx. Michael Spinks could punch like hell with the right hand. He could punch like hell. Don't forget, he beat Larry Holmes. I know a lot of people, Larry was starting to get a little older. I know a lot of people said it was a bad decision. Both of them, especially the first one, whatever. But Spinks earned that fight. He earned it. I love Larry Holmes. He's one of the great heavyweights and a great person. But Spinks beat him. I know a lot of people, there's conspiracy theories that certain people didn't want him to break, didn't want Holmes to break Rocky Marciano's record of 49-0 or tie it and possibly break it. All of that. He was 48-0 at the time when he fought Marciano. When he fought Spinks, and Spinks beat him. And he was the favorite to win, obviously. But Spinks beat him. Spinks was underrated, and he's always going to remain underrated, unfortunately, because of that 92 seconds against Mike Tyson. He's always going to be underrated because of the way he got demolished with Mike Tyson. But he was one of the great light heavyweight champs. He could punch like hell, and he won the heavyweight title. But at the end of the day, if you're talking about fighting at heavyweight, I'm taking George Foreman. I'm taking George. Give me George in a grill. Okay? Give me George in a grill and 3 cheeseburgers. I'm in all day.
No, it was good. I think it's got to be close to 1 a.m. over there, East Coast time for you?
I don't even know. I'm with you. I'm with my best friend. I'm talking boxing. I'm talking to the crowds. I'm talking to the people, to the fans. Time has stood still for me. I'm happy. I'm in my environment. I'm feeling like the late great, God bless him, the late great who I love, the great Bill Walton. I'm like Bill Walton. When Bill Walton, a great basketball player, when he was calling games and he would just say, "I'm happy. I'm happy. Look at me. I'm talking basketball. I'm talking to the fans. What's better? I'm talking boxing. I'm with my buddy. I'm talking to the fans. What is better? I'm like Dickie Vitale. Put it. Come on, baby. Let's go diaper dandy, baby. I'm like Dickie Vitale. I'm in my element. Again, I'm blessed. How lucky am I? Who the hell cares that it's 1 a.m? I don't give a damn.
Before we wrap up, going back to the Benavidez Morrell fight, what would you say to some of the people that are going to say Morrell wasn't ready yet? He needed more experience. He only had 11 professional fights. Maybe they disregard or don't know what the amateur, background and extensive career he had there was. Do you agree with that? Was it a little too early for him, or what would you say to that?
I'm going to say he fought a hell of a fight, and he's going to be a better fighter for it. Yeah, you could say that he could get discouraged. I'm going to say he's not gonna. I'm going to say that everyone has a different path. Everyone has a different journey. This is his path. This is his journey to get to the place. If he's to get to that place, that next place, beyond where he's been, this was the path for him. And you know what? It wasn't that he wasn't. You could talk about he wasn't ready. You could make an argument that he could have used a little bit more experience. I'm not going to argue that. I'm not going to debate that. You could make that argument, but I'm not going to say he lost his fight because it was too early. I'm not saying that. I'm saying he lost his fight because Benavidez was that good. If Benavidez wasn't that good, Morrell wins this fight. 11 fights in all. 11 fights in all. He wins this fight in his 12th fight if Benavidez isn't as good as he was. And he is. That's what I'm saying. Like the late great Jack Newfield, my friend who I miss also up there. I got a lot of friends up there. God bless you all. Like he used to say, that's my story, Teddy, and I'm sticking to it.
Yep. The one thing I guess tonight stood out at the end is Tim Cheatham's scorecard was too wide, right? 118, 110. More importantly, the right guy got the decision tonight, and that was Benavidez by unanimous decision. But that makes you scratch your head there a little bit. You think it was a little too wide?
Yes. But, buddy, let me tell you this. With these judges, if we scratched our heads every time they gave a freaking bad score, we'd have no freaking hair. By the way, don't take your hat off. Don't. I love you. I love you. You've been scratching your head. You've been scratching, and it's Cheatham's fault. It's Cheatham's fault that you're bald. Listen, I kid around, but really, if we did do this every time there was a bad decision, we would have big bald spots in our heads. I mean, you can't do this too much. And with the judges that we have, you'd be doing that way too much.
Yeah. What do you make of these guys at 175? Is that the home to stay? I mean, obviously Benavidez, a little different conversation with him winning, where he puts himself in position for potentially the winner better be Bivol. But if you're Morrell, is you're training him, is 175 his home, or are you still trying to jump back for money fights at 168 and maybe not ready to take on some of the elite guys at 175 after tonight?
If somebody named Canelo suddenly shows up on your dance card, you go down to 168, which is probably not going to happen. It's not enough money in it for Canelo. And it's got nothing to do with just hiding or avoiding or ducking. I agree with Canelo. It's not enough money in it for him right now to do that fight. and there's too much risk without enough reward or chance for reward. But you have the option. It's not a bad place to be in. If you're Morrell, you have the option. You could go down if it makes sense. You can stay there. You can stay there, and you're going to be a better fighter, I think. Don't there. The only thing is, there's 3 guys there that are 3 son of a guns. You're not picking an easy division. You're not picking an easy division when you got guys named Bevo and Benavidez and obviously Benavidez there. Only him and his team know what he walks around at and how easy or hard it is to make certain weights, how hard it is and how drained he was making 168. If he was, I don't know if he was, but if he was, only they know. And if that was the case, then they're staying at 175. But they're the ones who have to decide that, because they're the ones who have the information to decide that.
Yeah, there was a question: if Benavidez' next fight was not against the winner of Beterbiev and Bivol rematch on February 22nd, would you want to see him against Buatsi next? Buatsi, you got to see him fight in the UK against Hutchinson. He's coming up on the 22nd card against Callum Smith. A fight like that excite you? A fight like that makes sense before maybe one more at 175 before the big one?
It ain't a walk in the park, and it's a good fight. I love Buatsi. I love Callum Smith. Their styles, they're strong guys. You don't got to look for them. They're physical guys. They're tough guys. They're experienced enough. They're going to be there. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be a test. But you can hit them. You can hit them. And if you're Morrell, we're talking about Morrell right now, right? If you're Morrell.
No, but Benavidez fighting.
Benavidez. Yeah. Listen, Benavidez, they earned the right to fight the biggest fish. They earned the right to get the big money fight and the big fight. They earned that right. They ain't going back. They ain't looking. There ain't no thing called tune-up for them. There ain't no tune-up. They want to do a tune-up, they're going to play the guitar. That's what they're going to play. That's where they're going to tune up. There ain't no tune-ups when you're at this place. You're not doing that. You're not. There's no sense in that. You don't need experience. You don't need that. You're gonna take your victory, celebrate your victory, and see who wins that big fight later this month, and then go from there for the real biggie. That's what you're gonna do. You're not gonna go. Would I watch a fight with a Buatsi or with a Column? Yeah, because both those guys always give you what you want when you watch a boxing match. They bring it. They fight. And that's what fans want.
Yeah.
They want someone who's there to fight. So, but no, it would be mismanagement. And they don't have mismanagement with the Benavidezes. But that would be mismanagement if you went that direction.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I hear you. I'm a little confused reading some of the comments. I think some people think you picked Morrell to win this fight, although
No,
plan.
No, go to the videotape.
Benavidez.
Like the great Warner Wolf used to say, go to the videotape. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You don't got to worry about me. I don't hide behind that. You don't have, that's one thing. I admit when I'm wrong, and I'm wrong plenty. No. Watch the fight plan. I picked Benavidez. I did say that the only way Morrell wins is to hurt him, to knock him out, and that he would have a chance to hurt him. And I was right. He did, but he didn't knock him out. And he did. I said he will not beat him a decision because he will not outwork Benavidez. There is no way he will outwork Benavidez. And he did not outwork Benavidez. So no, don't piss me off on that one. Because that one, if you want to take losses on me, There's plenty of them out there legitimately. You can tag on me, bud. Plenty. But
Not this one.
Don't tag ones on me that I'm not, that I didn't earn. Don't do that.
Well, I could second that for you. You definitely picked this one right, and
But
you
I
might have.
want you to put it up. I want you and Sam to clip it and put up the prediction part of the fight plan during the week, just for those people out there that might be a little confused. You know, it's a Saturday night. It's late. They might have been doing a little of this. You know, maybe a little of this, maybe not. But they might be a little confused. They might be a little tired. The great Antonio Tarver had to go to bed. He was tired. You look tired too, bud. But I know you ain't leaving me till we close up shop. You ain't leaving
No,
me
this was
alone.
fun. We could do this all night long, and I've just enjoyed being here with you. I enjoyed listening to you, Antonio, and I look forward to doing more of these. We're gonna do more. Try to make this a staple of you commentating and doing fight companions and live streams for the fights moving forward, and also for the fans. Whether it's a live stream, we're gonna do some Q&As and have Teddy available and be able to answer questions. Current fighters, past fighters, talking the history of the fight game. So I hope everybody enjoyed it. If you aren't already, please subscribe, leave a comment. That'll help us out. And if you got anything you want to sign off with, bud?
Yeah, I just want to thank the fans. You know, I want to thank you. Sometimes there's a few of you that you know, like I'll be very nice. I'll be very nice. I'll be like Howard Cosell said to the great Muhammad Ali, and Howard Cosell was great too. But I'll be, and they were great for each other. They really were for each other's careers. But I'll be a little bit like Cosell. Some of you fans could be a little truculent. And then, of course, Muhammad Ali said, I have no idea what truculent means, but if it's good, I'm in.
I'm it.
So you guys are good. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you. My son appreciates you. We all appreciate you. My son is working very hard to build this thing to another place. He wants to get to 1 million subscribers. Do me a favor. I love my son. Do me a favor. Please deliver that for him. Deliver that for him. Look at him. Look at that smile. Look at that beautiful face. How can you say no? How you can say no to this whatever this is? You can say no very easily. I get it. But you can't say no to that. Listen, God bless you all. Thank you all for being here. We're gonna, like my son said, we're gonna do more of these. I talked to the great Spencer Brown today, who is the manager of Tyson Fury. We're going to have Tyson Fury coming on in the near future. We're gonna be doing more and more interviews with people like that. We're going to have Frank Warren on, who's the great promoter, who's part of putting all those great fights on that you're seeing from Saudi Arabia and from London. Of course, Eddie Hearn, one of the great promoters too. Spencer Brown, one of the great promoters. We're gonna bring you everything we think that you guys want and deserve. And it's all because of him. Because of him. Because he's gonna make it happen.
Well, we hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, want to thank Antonio. He did a great job tonight. It was awesome listening to him, having him on, former light heavyweight champion. And if you guys want to hear more for the Benavidez Morrell fight and this week's boxing, make sure to tune in to our podcast, which is going to air on Tuesday on the Fight with Teddy Atlas. So hope everybody enjoyed it. You guys have a good night.
I want to give a little, you know me, but I'm sorry. But one more thing. Pretty soon, one of the changes my son is making to make this show better is we're going to start taping on Sundays, and we're going to be up on Mondays instead of Tuesdays. 1 day earlier. That's all his idea. Get it up 1 day earlier. We will give you a heads up, but I'm just telling you now because that will be a little change that you're going to have to look for.
Yep, that won't be this week, but the following week we will be making those changes, and we'll make sure to remind everybody. So if that's it, bud, we'll sign off and say goodnight until next time.
Love you.